There's a version of us that wants to wake up early, go to the gym, get everything done on our to-do list, and make the best decisions for ourselves. And that's the version that we want to be. Then there's another version of us that stays up way too late, sleeps in way too long, checks our phone straight in the morning, gets upset about the little things, and gets nothing done. At the end of the day, we're sitting here wondering why nothing ever changes. You see, self-sabotage isn't loud. It's quiet, it's comfortable, it feels like home. And the worst part about it is, you probably don't even realize you're doing it. Self-sabotage is pulling yourself back when you're so close to doing something better. It's failing on purpose so that failure doesn't hurt as bad. It's knowing exactly what you need to do and not doing it. But that doesn't make sense, right? Like, life is going so well, why would I want to ruin it? Well, here's why. It probably may not make sense to you, but it's because of your brain. Your brain will do whatever it can to prove that it's right. If you believe that you're a failure, you will fail just to prove your brain right. If you don't believe you're worthy of love, you'll push people away so that way you can prove that you were right and there's no way that anybody will fall in love with you. Even though you push that person away yourself, proving yourself to be right. If you think you're not built for success, the second that you get close to it, you'll self-sabotage yourself back to where you started, just to prove yourself right. Because if you were to give everything that you had and still failed, that would hurt a lot. That would mean that you weren't enough, and that's terrifying. So instead, you make sure that you fail on your own terms. You start negotiating in your mind that maybe what you set out to achieve isn't really what you wanted in the beginning. You build up this big idea, you go out there and achieve it, but when you're in the middle of it, things start to get uncomfortable and your mind is wanting familiarity. So when that happens, there's friction there. So you're chasing that dream and all of a sudden you start getting these thoughts of, maybe this isn't what I wanted, or I thought this would be different, or I'm not capable of doing it. When that friction happens, your brain is gonna make up these excuses for you to go back to what's familiar. And when you listen to that, that's where you're self-sabotaging and you ultimately won't reach your goal. And your mind will come up with ways to make it seem like you're protecting yourself, but really you're just proving yourself right. And this is where the conflict is. It's who you are versus who you think you are. There's a saying that the only limits in life are the ones that are set within your mind. And this is real. This is where the real battle is. The war between the person you are and the war between the person you think you are. And there's a very important point that I want to say that I really want you guys to listen to. And that is that your subconscious doesn't care at all about what you want. It cares about what's familiar. So no matter how big your goals are, it's not going to help you get there. If anything, it's going to bring you back. And that's why you feel that friction when you get out there and you get uncomfortable. That's where all those thoughts are coming from. It's simply just coming from the subconscious. If you spent years believing that you're lazy, you're going to be lazy. Because to you, that identity is safe. Or if you feel like you don't deserve peace, the second that you start to feel peace, you'll ruin things to get back to normal. This would happen on many occasions where I would go out with friends and hang out, and we'd all be sitting at the table and I would, somebody would say something and I'd start laughing. And while I'm laughing, this internal thought comes to mind of like, why are you laughing? And it's so weird because I'm sitting there in real time thinking like, okay, well, this is weird. Like, I'm just having a good time. And that's where you have to realize like, that is, like, for me, that was uncomfortable. I've spent so many years just living in my own internal anxiety and things like that, that when I started to become happy or notice that I was noticeably happy, my brain would completely interrupt it because it was unfamiliar to me. And it's the weirdest thing. Like, do you ever wonder why good things feel wrong sometimes? Why success feels weird? Why when things are going well, you just have the urge to ruin them? I'll tell you why. Because if it's too good to be true, you'll make sure it isn't true. Another thing, I want to talk to you guys on a relatable level, so I'm going to talk about personal instances for myself as well. And another thing that I would deal with is I would write down a goal. I would work so hard, to achieve that goal. And finally, eventually I would achieve it, and by the end of it, my mind would tell me that I got lucky and that I don't deserve it because some way, somehow, that I achieved this goal but not on my own doing. But it's funny because if I really sit down and think about it logically, it's like I did everything in my power to make this come true. I achieved this goal because I went out there and I did everything that I needed to do, and that's how I achieved it. But yet, my brain will still trick me into thinking that I got lucky and that I don't deserve any of it. And the craziest part about it is over time I start to believe that, and it just completely diminishes my confidence and what I believe that I'm capable of, and just distorts my complete reality. And I know there's somebody watching this video that also struggles with the same thing. So the big question is how do we end this endless cycle of self-sabotage? How do we actually ride the wave of good things without completely disastrously destroying it? So you have to understand, self-sabotage most of the time comes from a very deep-rooted subconscious belief, which means that this isn't going to be something that is fixed overnight. This isn't one of those things that you can just force yourself to do with willpower and it all just goes away. You break free by finding the root of the problem, which lies within the subconscious belief. The truth is, self-sabotage isn't random. It's a deeply ingrained response, programmed within your brain from years and years of your life that have been formed through experiences, trauma, and repetition. By the time you're an adult, 95% of your thoughts and actions are controlled by your subconscious mind. That means you're not actively choosing to hold yourself back. You're simply acting out of the identity that you've been conditioned to believe. Your subconscious is like a computer running an old software. If for years you believed that you're not good enough, that belief doesn't just sit there. It creates your reality. It influences everything on your day-to-day life, as far as the jobs you apply to, the relationships you settle for, the risks you take or don't take. And what you have to understand is your brain craves consistency. It wants your external world to match your internal beliefs. To break free from self-sabotage, you have to do something that is very difficult but very worth it. You have to reprogram the way that you see yourself. This isn't about just thinking positive. This is literally about rewiring the neural pathways in your brain, and here's how you do it. Step 1. Expose the lies that you've been living by. Self-sabotage is built on lies that you've been telling yourself year over year over year. You've repeated this lie in your mind so many times that you believe it to be true. So the first step that you need to take is identifying what lie you're telling yourself. And after you do that, you have to ask yourself, what belief is shaping my reality? Maybe it's I always mess things up, or I don't deserve success. Another thing I struggled with was that I believed that if anyone were to get close to me, I knew that I would hurt them, so I pushed them away before it would get any further, damaging all my relationships regardless. But the thing is, you have to ask yourself, where did that belief come from? Did somebody tell you that? Did you fail once and now you believe that all you can do is fail? For most of us, it's gonna be picked up when we were really young. So young that we probably don't even know when or where we learned this belief. So step number 1 is find the root of that belief. Step number 2, prove your brain wrong. Your brain will do whatever it can to prove itself right, so the best thing that you can do is prove it wrong. So let's say hypothetically here that your subconscious belief is that you're lazy. If you believe that, your brain is always constantly going to be looking for evidence to prove itself right. So every time you procrastinate, it reinforces that identity of you being lazy. But the cool thing about that is you can reverse engineer it. If you start proving yourself in small ways that that belief is false, your brain will have no choice but to adapt. Even if it's just waking up 5 minutes earlier or writing down one sentence in your journal even when you don't feel like journaling. You just need a small action that contradicts the belief in your mind that you're lazy. The more proof that you create, the more your subconscious starts to rewrite the script. Neuroplasticity, the ability of your brain to rewrite itself. It changes by hearing, seeing, and experiencing something new so many times that becomes second nature. As much as I wish it could happen overnight, it doesn't. This is why self-sabotage feels effortless. You've been practicing it for years. Confidence, self-discipline, success, those things can become effortless too. But it's something that you gotta keep top of mind every single day. If you're serious about changing your subconscious mindset, after this video, I highly encourage you to write down the new identity that you want to believe for yourself. Not just what you want to achieve, but who you actually want to be. The hardest part about breaking free from self-sabotage isn't taking action. It's about actually allowing yourself to become the person who you've been scared to become. Because that version of you, the one who wants to succeed, follow through on things, and actually get things done, they've been there all along. They've just been waiting for you to actually believe in them. I appreciate you guys for watching this video. I really do hope this helped. And if you did like the content about this video, I really think that you would enjoy the video At War with My Ego. It also talks about everything within the mind that gets in your own way. So check that video out, and I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I love you guys. Peace.